So I want to share a tip with players that may be new to poker, or even old players that um, may have not noticed or paid attention. If you've heard it before, that's great. But what I want to do is caution people playing against certain people from certain regions. Um, especially when it comes to America's Card Room, even majority of the unregulated sites that you can play in the U.S. and even some that's regulated, watch out for the players from Russia and Brazil, especially Russia. And if you're playing on America's Card Room, most of the time, those are not real players. Those are bots. Those are in-house players, super users. I have a strong itch. I believe America's Card Room get most of their bots or in-house bots and stuff are from there. So I definitely want to caution that if you've played on PPP Poker, I'm not even sure if that's still around. It was an app. I believe I stopped playing on that app maybe 3 years ago. Could have been longer, but a lot of the fishiness came from a lot of the players from Brazil on that particular app. So if you're still playing on there, just take caution. If you don't believe me, that's fine. I give zero flying fucks. Um, but if you don't believe me, just pay attention to those certain players. Every time they pop up, just hover over them, see where they're from, watch their playing. Um, and you'll definitely notice. But I just want to say that, and what I also want to share with everyone, when you're playing online poker, again, it's not random. It's not randomly generated. You're fighting against a lot of things. You're fighting against the system. You're fighting against colluding. You're fighting against bots. That goes from bots from other individuals, but mainly bots from, well, in this case, America's Card Room. But in the other case, they have bot. These companies have bots too. They have super users. They have back doors. People find back doors to these websites all the time. Everything has a back door. So um, when you're when so you find against a lot. But what I want to share with you, this is gonna help you so much. If you're playing in a tournament and up pops up a player, and this player just seems to be winning everything, just avoid them. Avoid them. This will save you. This will save you. Trust me, it's gonna save you. Just avoid them. Um, they can definitely be, in-house or in-house players, bots, and so forth. But you have to distinguish between the two. You have to distinguish between that type of cheating, but also fighting the system. Because what the system would do a lot of the times, just so I say take out that random number generator, is they'll allow a person to come on a particular table, um, any table, and they'll just be winning, winning, winning. Um, and some of these players will notice that they're in a winning streak because this is what the system is doing. The system is it's not random. They're purposely doing this. So they're gonna give this player just about every hand, and this player's gonna realize that, and they're gonna start playing just about every hand. When that happens, try to avoid that because they're going to give you amazing hands. Like, just for instance, 30 minutes ago, this same thing happened to me. It happened to me 3 times, but it happened to me twice, but I caught it on the third time, so I had to back away. um I had to back away. I had to realize, I had to practice what I preach. So what took place was a player came on the table. um I was watching their play. I started making notes on this player. I started making notes of the hand. I was just like, this person is trash. So it comes my turn. I get some good hands. I get King Seven of a spade suited. So this player, I raise. I 4x my raise, and this player calls. They have 6-9. So they hit a 6 on the board, but they're 6-8 something. But whatever, there's two spades out. So they jam on me, and I told myself I told myself to fold, but then I was like, damn, I have so much here. So all right, so I went ahead and called because it was only a few thousand chips more. So I called. They hold. They win. I don't hit a spade. I don't hit a seven to beat their six. I don't hit a king. Whatever. I know that. I get a little frustrated. I know that. Whatever. So few orbits later, um, I wind up getting Jack Deuce of spades. You see the pattern going on here. So I get Jack Deuce of spades. So my Jack Deuce of spades. Um, I think I was small blind, and I believe I went ahead and, or was I big blind? I believe I was big blind. So they raised, and I went ahead and defended. I called. So the board comes two spades, just like the last time, right? So in their hand, which I don't find out until the river, they have two spades, but they have 7-5 of spades. And you know what? I think I got that wrong because I believe I know I raised with my Jack Deuce. I believe I was actually in the small blind. And they called and I re-raised. And I believe I 3x instead of 4x my raise. So that's what happened there. They still call, whatever. So they jam on me. I'm like, I know this person does not have anything on the board. And just watching their play, I knew they didn't have anything on the board. And they didn't until the turn. They hit a 7. So I don't hit a jack, I don't hit a deuce, I don't hit another spade. You see that pattern? Yeah. So they got me again. This person wins with the first time a pair of sixes, the second time a pair of sevens. Funny. All right. So another hand. So there was a few orbits. There was a few orbits. I wound up beating them in another hand for a good amount of chips. So a few more orbits go by, and coming closer to, well, we already in the money, so we're already cashing, and I get pocket kings. I 4x my raise. It was 4.5 because I sort of didn't want anyone to call. Anyways, I know it's stupid, but when you're playing on these sites, a lot of times I don't want no one to call because it's unbelievable. Besides stupid players, you have the cheating. So it's, again, you fighting against so much. So whatever. They called on the flop. There's like a 5 something something, right? So I jam. I knew they didn't have anything, and if they did, it's a smaller pair. Well, guess what? They have 5 ace offsuit. Guess what comes in a turn? An ace. Beat me with 2 pair again. So, in a sense, they got me. You just gotta watch out and realize. The second time it wasn't too much of my. The third time it wasn't too much of my fault because there was already some orbits and I was able to get them in the hand. Get them in one hand, and so I thought that little streak was over and it was a good hand. I had a good hand. What can I do? But in the end, when they jammed on me like that, what I should have done is fold because it was going back into that cycle. So you have to distinguish between players that can that will notice that, but also the other things like the bots and the in-house players, the super users, and so forth. So I hope I wasn't doing too much rambling. I hope I was able to paint a picture so you guys can see and sort of try to pick up on these patterns of what's going on. Because the system there, you guys heard me say it before. If you watch my previous videos, they're not gonna allow you to win unless they want you to win. So you have to realize: is it a time that I can win, or is it one of those times that no matter what, the system is not gonna allow me to win? When it comes that time, you have to swallow your pride and just fold. And even if it feels like you're battling against another player that just always seems to win, Don't let that grab you and choke you out, because that's just what's gonna happen. You're gonna get mad. You're gonna jam with a hand. You're not gonna jam. You shouldn't jam with, and they're gonna magically just wake up with something, or you're gonna wake up with something. And they're gonna wake up with something even greater. So there's no win-win for you. So I hope this is helpful. I hope someone can learn from this. If so, that's great. But I just want to share that information with you guys. P.S. America's Card Room suck. It's the worst site ever. Bovada comes next. I mean, Bet Online comes next. Ignition Casino comes next. Bovada, so forth and so on. Just wanted to share that.